Hi guys, Martin here with another roundup of all the latest racing game news straight from the Team BBB website. Get your swear jars at the ready and say goodbye to your social life once again, because this week Trials Fusion landed on Xbox One, Xbox 360 and for the first time on PS4, bringing a whole new meaning to trial and error. Despite the new futuristic setting, this is still the same Trials we know and love. It's frustrating, it's addictive, and you spend half your time falling flat on your face, but we wouldn't have it any other way. It's also great to see the series reach a wider audience this time on other platforms. Unfortunately, it wasn't all good news however, as it was discovered that Trials Fusion is the latest game to perform better on PS4 than Xbox One, running at 1080p compared to 900p, further fanning the fanboy flames once again. Personally, I don't think it's the end of the world. In fact, I seriously doubt you can even tell the difference really. For a game like this, it's the frame rate that matters most, and both versions run at a solid 60 frames. Hopefully this will be a thing of the past soon though, as developers grow more accustomed to the hardware. If you rewind back to the current generation, it was a similar story between the PS3 and Xbox 360, except back then it was the PS3 that often fared worse when it came to multi-platform releases. In fact, I recently got into the PC beta, so I'll be taking a look at some of my playthroughs very soon. It's no secret that Codemasters are working on multiple racing game projects this year, but nothing has been formally announced as of yet. However, the wait is now nearly over, as a teaser trailer has hinted at something big happening next Tuesday on April 22nd. I think we're all guilty of assuming Codemasters' next game will be the long-awaited Dirt 4. There's been plenty of hints about it being in development after all, which is why we were surprised to see the trailer hinting at a possible Grid sequel. If it does turn out to be Grid 3, it will certainly be interesting to see what direction the series heads in next. Grid 2's arcade sensibility certainly wasn't for everyone. Then again, earlier this year, touring car driver Matt Neal spoke out about his involvement in the new Codemasters racing game, so this could finally be the TOCA reboot fans have been praying for. Either that, or we could be completely wrong and it could just be Grid 2 remastered on PS4 and Xbox One or something. Nevertheless, we look forward to seeing what next week brings, and who knows, it might even have a cockpit camera this time. If you're eager to find out more about the crew after last week's comeback, we've got an information blowout in my hands-on preview on the website, which includes an interview with creative director Julian Geraci covering all aspects of the game, from the creation of the map and how the car customization works, as well as other aspects that weren't covered before, such as the vehicle damage and the narrative. Speaking of the story, apparently it was written by former writers of Red Dead Redemption and GTA Vice City, but you can find out more on the crew in my extensive preview in the link below. One day, the time will finally come when I will be happily reporting on Drive Club's release date. Unfortunately, that moment still hasn't arrived, but the game director did at least confirm that Drive Club is still coming out this year, over on Twitter, but refused to comment any further. He also clarified other details such as wheel support for the Thrustmaster T500, as well as dismissing the inclusion of pay-to-win microtransactions. It's been a while since we last wreaked havoc in Bugbear's next car game, but the release of a new update got me straight back in the driving seat. The update adds a new sandpit track which should be familiar to fans of the original Flatout, as it's pretty much a remake of the old quarry track. Alan and I have been recording some gameplay videos of the new track as well, so you'll be able to see it in action for yourself very soon. The update also added 2 new derby arenas, a replay mode, and a host of other features and improvements. You can read the full list of changes in the link below. Meanwhile, the latest fortnightly update has arrived for Assetto Corsa, once again adding new content to the Steam Early Access build. As usual, there is a set of new cars, this time in the form of 2 Lotus racing cars, the Evora GTC and Evora GX. It also added a new Race Weekend mode, which allows you to run a full race weekend in single player at long last. Additional changes and fixes can be found on the site in the link below. After almost a decade in the making, promising indie project Kart Sim is almost ready for release. It's just entered Steam Greenlight to gain some supporters and get the game released to the public. It certainly looks like the definitive racing game for karting enthusiasts, with customizable karts and upgrades available, an option to walk around the track between races, and realistic physics that replicate weight shifting, and even the flexing of the chassis, which will gradually bend if you drive carelessly. A pretty astonishing achievement when you consider the project is being developed by a one-man team, so I'll be keeping a close eye on this one. Fnatic is apparently working on a new add-on for the Club Sport wheelbase, with sources describing it as an insanely cool new addition. As we know, the Club Sport supports changeable wheel rims, so it could be another rim in addition to the existing Formula and BMW GT2 rims currently available. Having said that, describing it as insanely cool to me hints at something a little more special, so it could turn out to be some sort of data display or something like that. All will apparently be revealed soon. Yes, it's that time of year again, as the 2014 GT Academy is set to commence on April 21st for the 6th year running, as Gran Turismo players compete for a chance to do it all for real. This year the prize will be a seat in the Nissan team for next year's 24-hour endurance race in Dubai. Judging from the screenshots provided of GT Academy Nissan Leafs and 370Zs, you can bet we'll be seeing another free time trial minigame released on the PlayStation Store soon. Polyphony is also on the warpath at the moment, warning that several users are being banned from Gran Turismo 6 after illegally modified data was found in the game's online modes. A new trailer has been released for Grip Games' upcoming console remake of the mobile hit Jet Car Stunt, a game that bears more than a passing resemblance to Trials, with its addictive platform gameplay and punishing difficulty. Coincidentally, the trailer was even released on the launch day of Trials Fusion. The remake will add asynchronous multiplayer, new cars and a new game mode, and it's due out in early May for PC and then shortly after on PS3, PS Vita and Xbox 360. A release on PS4 and Xbox One is planned for a later date. It's a well-known cliche that every 2D top-down racer ever will inevitably be compared to Codemasters' classic Micro Machines, and that's exactly what's happened here with Wreck'em Racing, a mobile racer that's just been released by new London-based indie developer Ludobit. It's currently free to play on iOS and Android, and while it doesn't sound like the most original racer game ever made, it does offer a few novel features that set it apart, such as procedurally generated tracks, car customization, and naturally power-ups. You can even go all Dick Dastardly and lay roadside traps for your unsuspecting rivals. Elsewhere on the site, I wrote a column looking at the potential influence virtual reality will have on racing games, and how it will affect our sense of speed, depth and position perception. That's it for now though, but I'll be back next time with another roundup. As always, visit teamvvv.com for all the latest racing game news. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.